I spent 2 days in Africa's biggest city to see what $100 gets you in Cairo, Egypt.
Welcome German! Welcome to Cairo!
From New Cairo. I'm now in Egypt, country number 93. I'm super happy to be here, and I just got here last night. So first thing I'm gonna do now, I have a couple of days here, is obviously check out the pyramids. I just ordered an Uber, and for what's supposed to be a 1-hour drive according to the app, I just paid 200 Egyptian pesos, which is 6 euros. So I'm now almost at the pyramids. I'm now at the Mena House, the Marriott Mena House, which is a pretty fancy hotel right next to the pyramids. I landed here because of a small communication issue with the driver, but it was totally fine because this hotel had an ATM without any fees. So I just got a bunch of Egyptian cash, which is really good. I'm gonna pay the driver now, then I'm gonna just walk to the pyramids, which are right next door. You can actually see them. Let's head to the ticket office. I was told it only takes credit card, Visa, and MasterCard, so no cash. So let's see what that's about. Okay, so I just got the tickets for the pyramid, which one is for just entry to the area, basically. That's what they call it, for 360 Egyptian pounds, and the other one is to go inside the Great Pyramid, which costs 600 Egyptian pounds. So 960 in total, which is around 30 euros. I have to say, the officers here are extremely friendly. I got my bag checked twice. So one of them, who was super friendly, just asking what's in there. Second one actually opened my bag and my camera fell out. Nothing happens, all right. But he apologized so many times. He was just super friendly. So Egyptian officers, also the immigration officer yesterday, was very positive first impression, definitely. Look at this, guys. Beautiful spot to take a couple pictures. Awesome. So of course these two are the two most famous of the pyramids here. There are a couple pyramids here, but these ones are like the two main ones. This is the Great Pyramid. This is the second one. I forgot its name. They're both almost the same height. I think this one, the Great Pyramid, is like 139 meters. The other one is 136, somewhere around there. They used to be like 10 meters taller, both of them. But as you can see, as you might be able to see on that one, the tip is missing. Same with the Great Pyramid. So a random guy just approached me and got me this. I don't know. He didn't even want any money from it. Like, seriously, didn't want. I thought this was all a tourist scam and everything, but I have to say, he was a nice guy, and after we talked for a little while, he gave me this. So just from his heart, I don't know. Maybe he'll approach me later for something, but it seems like he actually didn't want any money. And I have to say, this is the first time I wear something like this. It helps a lot against this, like a lot. It's crazy. So then it was time to go inside the pyramid. And look, I'm gonna be honest with you, I was really disappointed. I don't know why, but I thought there were gonna be normal hallways or something in those pyramids. But actually, to get to the tomb of the pharaoh, you have to climb up this 1 meter or 3 foot tall tunnel, basically. And it's burning hot in there, everyone's sweating. These tight places are really crazy in there, with the only way out of the pyramid being this small tunnel. That really didn't feel good. Anyway, you get up there and you can look at a stone. That's it. So do I regret buying the ticket to go inside the pyramid? Not at all. I can now say that I've been inside the pyramid, and also I've kind of always wondered what a pyramid looks from the inside, and as we just found out, it looked very different than what I thought it would. So I don't regret buying a ticket for the first time, but would I do it again? Hell no. So no idea how to put it back on. It's about a 10-minute walk to the Sphinx. People do want to convince you that it's a super long walk, and you have to have a camel and or book a tour and, you know, drive with the car, but it's not. At least Google Maps said it's 800 meters, so half a mile, so I can do that. So one thing that might be useful to you is to know that there are two entrances to this whole thing. One by the Great Pyramid and one by the Sphinx. And as you can see, I'm walking downhill now, which is actually quite steep if you do that for 1 kilometer. And the reason why I chose the Great Pyramid entrance is that the Great Pyramid is on a hill and the Sphinx is a little further down. If you get in by the Great Pyramid and then walk to the Sphinx, it's a lot easier than getting in by the Sphinx. Have a look at this beautiful thing and then walk up the hill to the Great Pyramid. So keep that in mind. Also pay attention to what you touch, because as you can see my hand and also the camera, they're full of this white sand dust. So if possible, don't touch anything. But of course you have to touch the pyramids once. That's important.
So after spending a few hours at the pyramids and the Sphinx, I needed some food. So I went to the restaurant right across the street from the Sphinx and got this tabbouleh salad, some bread, a water and a lemon juice, as well as this Egyptian dessert. Food was a 9 out of 10 and I spent £200 including the tip.
Alright, I'm now here on Zamalek Island in the city of Cairo. In case you didn't know, the pyramids are not in Cairo. Zamalek Island, from what I've seen, is a pretty cultural hub here in the city. So I'm right next to the Cairo Opera House, for example. Then over there, actually, I was supposed to show you later, but this is a famous tower here in the city. Also there are golf courses here. There's a famous street with all the restaurants and bars and that kind of stuff, all on this island here. And right next to the Opera House we have the Museum of Egyptian Modern Art, which the entrance is free, but it's closed at the moment. But this is where you would find all the paintings and sculptures of the development of the Egyptian art over the last couple of centuries. So behind me you can see the Cairo Tower. This used to be the tallest structure in Africa, actually, when it was built in 1962 or something. Then it was only the tallest building in North Africa, then in Egypt, and now not even in Egypt anymore. But it's still beautiful and one of the main landmarks here in the city. So 2 scoops of ice cream for £70. Both really good. So I'm now here at the top of the tower. I sat down here at the restaurant with a nice view of the city. Unfortunately, I had to wait for over an hour downstairs, so now it's dark outside. With my 250 pound ticket, I can only use the inside floor here, so I can't go upstairs on the rooftop. Basically, that's the distinction they made. So either you use you take the 250 pound one, or the, I think it was 400 pounds or something. Correct? I think 350, 400 pounds, something like that. But I thought like the inside one would be enough. So there's one inside, you call it like through the window ticket, and then the open air ticket. That's what the guy at the counter called.
So I paid £225 for a lemon juice, an iced mocha and a falafel sandwich and called it a day.
Good morning guys from the Arabella Mall here in Cairo. It's day 2 now, and honestly I just wanted to have a quick breakfast here at the mall, but turned out to take a little longer to get inside because cameras are not allowed inside of here. For me it still worked. Luckily I had a random guy on the street that helped me with discussing me into the mall with my camera bag, because I don't speak any Arabic. So we had like a 3 to 4 minute discussion to get me into the mall with my bag where there are 2 cameras inside. But I feel like in general the country doesn't really like cameras. Also, when I entered the country at the airport, I was asked if I had a drone with me, because it's actually illegal to bring drones to Egypt. I've read many articles about this online. But yeah, long story short, just quick advice: if you're going to any special kind of special place like a mall or so in Egypt, definitely try to not bring your cameras, because it can be a big problem if the security guard is in a bad mood. Alright guys, as you can see, a lot of stone behind me. I'm here at the Cave Church in Garbage City. More on that in just a second. Entry to the church is free, so let's head inside. Alright guys, I'm now in the Cave Church here in Garbage City in Cairo. And first of all, yes, this is an amazing amphitheater. And second of all, yes, it's actually called Garbage City. Quick history lesson about Garbage City. About 50 years ago, many working class people, mostly farmers from all over Egypt, came to Cairo because they discovered that collecting and recycling garbage is actually very profitable, and a lot more profitable than being a farmer somewhere in the countryside. So they founded this community here without a lot of money, and until today they just collect and recycle garbage. And because they didn't have a lot of money to build a new church, they just used this massive cave here as their local church. And as you can see, until today it's still used. It looks beautiful, and it's actually, I think I read somewhere, the largest amphitheater in Africa, something like that. Might be wrong, but it definitely is very impressive, and it holds up to 2,000 people just randomly in the middle of Cairo, and it's definitely the most beautiful church I've seen in my life. All right, now it's time to head back to the Uber driver. He's still waiting for me, and go back to Zamalek, where we ended yesterday.
By the way, calling an Uber in Garbage City is pretty much impossible. So I just told my driver I was only going to need around 15 minutes, so he waited for me and drove me back to the city. Win-win for the both of us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, you have a good day.
Have a good day.
So Zamalek is the part of the city where the good middle class lives, from what I've heard. So that's why you see a lot of restaurants, bars, shops. People having fun. People, I don't know, just sitting down eating pizza and everything. There are also a lot of embassies here. Now actually I'm right next to you, I'm not going to film it, but there's the embassy of Lebanon. So I'm now getting closer to the main street. I have to say, first impression, India. Looks a lot like India, I don't know why. You hear why, but yeah, so I think I don't need to prove my my statement. So the main street here isn't the main street for chilling. There are a lot of cafes here. I honestly can't understand why people sit down here. But if you go to one of the side streets, it's actually really nice. But honestly, I'm passing so beautiful places here. This one, for example, don't know what it's called, but they look so nice. But honestly, like the noise destroys it all. So I have to say, when I started walking around here just a couple of minutes south of the main area of Zamalek, it didn't feel like the safest area I've been to. So it's not unsafe, but I was like, okay, let's just keep an eye on my stuff. But then I saw more and more cafes with people sitting outside with their laptops open. I mean, I've heard that Cairo is not, or the Arabic world in general, is not a very dangerous place when it comes to like pickpocketing and like violence on the street. But I feel like this gave it some more real energy when even the locals have their laptops and phones out on the open street and don't really pay attention to who's around them. So behind me you can see the Qasr Al Nil Bridge, which is roughly be how to pronounce it. It's one of the main landmarks in the city, together with the Cairo Tower here. And of course it spans over the Nile River, which, depending on how you measure it, is the longest or second longest river in the world. Why is that? Because number one is or is not the Amazon River. The thing is, the Amazon is technically a river system and not a single river. So if you count the whole system, then the Amazon is longer. But if you only count the mainstream of the Amazon, then the Nile is the longest river in the world. Alright, so now I'm in downtown Cairo. There's a lot of shops here, fancy buildings, a lot of people just going shopping. There's a lot of traffic as well. Yeah, what I like to do is walk around a little and then sit down at a place with a good view, just observe people, chill a little bit. So I turned into the wrong street and I feel like I'm in the middle of India now, back in New Delhi. But it's super fun. All the, they even have tuk-tuks here, and I don't know why, but there's so many trucks, vans and buses here that used to or still have the German license plate, like you see on these ones. It's crazy. I don't know what they're doing, if they just imported them and sometimes go back with them. Why don't they get rid of them? But yeah, I see a lot of them, mostly Cologne license plates I've noticed. Alright, so now this is the real downtown Cairo. You can see here a lot of shops. What? That's alright. That's alright. Yeah, people. It's funny the first time, but if 30 people want to take a photo with you, after a while it gets kind of exhausting. Made that experience in India. This is also pretty India style. But yeah, as I was gonna say, a lot of shops here, everyone's shopping outside. This is like one of the big trade areas, I would say. Yeah, in the heart of the city. So even above us, there's a train line. And this is traffic in the biggest city in Africa. So this is where the bazaar is starting. Let's head through it. It looks like I found a new tour guide. This guy showed me everything.
German, welcome. Welcome, German. This is flute market. Come. This is everything flute.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh, the bread looks amazing.
Here. This is the Al-Azhar Mosque. Here 1100 years.
Wow.
Very old Al-Azhar Mosque.
So the market apparently is split into a spice market or like a food market and more of a, he called it Turkish market. I'm not sure if that's a good description for it, but here's mostly things like books, for example, you could buy, or carpets, this kind of stuff, right? And all of this is, of course, in the Islamic Cairo. So the old town, the old town. One thing I noticed here in Egypt, this part of town, to be honest, not really, but in Egypt in general, I saw many people casually wearing clothes. So it's like, it's not super strict as it is in Saudi Arabia, for example, where if you have this outfit that I'm wearing right now, just a shirt and shorts, people in Saudi Arabia will look at you as if you're an alien or something. But here, people don't care. Egypt is super liberal when it comes to how to wear your clothes, and young people do wear whatever they want, just as in Germany, the US, or whatever. Honestly, I kind of love the vibe in mosques. Usually it's very quiet. If it weren't for the guy vacuuming right now, it always smells good for some reason. I don't know why, what they do, but it always smells good. And I feel like everyone's just doing their thing, chilling here, doing whatever they want, because it feels like, I'm not sure, but it feels like you can do anything in here as long as you're not disrespecting others. So people just use this place to spend some time, take a call. Many people are here on the phone. I don't know, it's funny, but they're doing it quietly, and it's clean. It's clean. That's one of the biggest things. Like, of course, everyone's here on socks or barefoot, and they make sure, like, right now, I don't want to film them, but there are like a couple of people like constantly cleaning the area. I like that a lot, you know, and the carpet is always super soft. So let's get out of this beautiful mosque and take another Uber to New Cairo. Another thing, by the way, that you should be aware of when coming to Cairo is that you definitely need mobile internet, because now I'm booking Uber now. There is almost no Wi-Fi here. Especially if you're international, they always want to have your phone number, and it doesn't work. At least for me, it never worked to put in my phone number and then get a text message for the confirmation code. So yeah, and best way to get around town is with Uber, so definitely need mobile internet for that.
And with a remaining budget of just a few bucks, that was already what $100 gets you in Cairo, Egypt. Next up is New York City, USA.